Today we're going back a little bit in time to 2019. This is a game that I've seen a lot of, and for whatever reason, like I've wanted to play it, never played it, kept ignoring it. But shout out to friends of the podcast, Scott and Austin, not this Austin, but OG Austin, as we call him.
I got this when it was in beta.
Yeah, you played it in beta?
I did.
Oh, nice, man. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, so this came out August 27, 2019. This is Hunt Showdown. Hunt Showdown is a game made by Crytek, and y'all may know Crytek as the creators of Crysis, which is one of like the greatest technical marvels of all time as far as like graphics go. It's really, really good. This game is a high-stakes tactical PvPvE first-person shooter. In this, you hunt for bounties for the infested bayou, kill nightmarish monsters, and outwit competing hunters alone or in a group with your glory, gear, and gold on the line. Ooh. So the year is 1895, and you're a hunter tasked with eliminating the savage, nightmarish monsters that have infested the Louisiana bayou. You search for clues to helps track your target and compete against other hunters after the same reward. So you have this ability when you're walking around where you can hold down E on the keyboard and it like kind of turns everything black and white, kind of like Detective Vision, the Batman games, that lets you see little like rays of like glowy blue light in the distances, and that tells you where there's gonna be clues at, or it could be the monster. So you go track those down, and then as you go towards those things and you find a clue, you can pull up your map, and the map like has segments that go away, that hide out, that basically says you now know that the monster is in one of these like regions.
This general location.
Yeah,
you just starts getting smaller and smaller until it focuses in.
Exactly, yeah. So once you get 3 clues, then you have identified the monster's location, and you can go track down the monster. Okay. In this game right now, so there's events that happen, and one thing that's kind of interesting, so this game, I'm playing it on PC. I believe it's on like other consoles as well.
It is on PlayStation. It was free 1 month, I believe, and I was going to get it, but
yeah. This one thing that I don't quite like about it is it's heavily like microtransacted as well for a paid game. So it's a $40 game, but they do have skins that you can buy, but it's all cosmetic skins. You can't buy anything else beyond that. But you do get points to like, unlock skins and things like that. But then they have a whole bunch of upgrades. There's a ton of progression in this game. Like I was kind of blown away and overwhelmed when I first got into it, how much progression there is. But I'll talk about that in a second. But back to the searching, you hunt around, you look for these monsters. Every once in a while, certain events have different like event focused monsters. So right now there's this thing called the Rockjaw, I think it's called, which is an alligator. Yeah.
What? You don't know that? No. Family Guy? Oh, Rock Lobster. Sorry.
Yeah. So there's this like Rockjaw thing that's like an alligator. So you find this like these little like pits in the ground that have this like like oily stuff that comes out of it that directs you to where the Rotjaw is. So you go follow after that, and that's another monster bounty you can get. So when you get to the monster, you have to kill it. So the monster every single monster is different. It's like a boss battle, and they're a pain in the ass to kill, and they're really, really brutal, and they can kill you in like 2 hits and you're dead. So you got to be very strategic about how you approach it. This is a co-op game, so you have teams of 2. You can go in solo and do like solos, or you can do trios and have teams of 3. And when you're in a game world, there's anywhere from 2 to 4 other human teams in the world doing the exact same thing. They're going to find the monsters.
Yeah.
Tracking them down.
This is a different kind of battle royale.
You know what I'm talking about?
So you can kill each other. You can kill each other. Yeah. So the team who kills the creature first is victory? Victory?
So not necessarily. So whenever you go and kill the monster, you have to then banish it. And when you banish it, once it's banished, it gives you a bounty token. That is your reward, basically like, hey, I killed this monster. This is my proof. When you banish it, it alerts the entire world that monster is being banished, and everybody then can converge on there to kind of kill you, which is a really interesting kind of dynamic to fight against those players. Yep. Once you get the banishing bounty token, then you have to extract. So there's extraction points. So it's an extraction shooter too. There's extraction points on the edges of the map. You get to one of those extraction points, you have to hold there for 30 seconds. If at any point in this time you get shot and killed, you lose your entire loadout and your character.
Oh,
Gone.
what?
Done. Finished. So you could have been working on this character for like 10, 15 games. It's like level 85. It's got all the best weapons. Gone. Done. Finished.
That's if your character dies, but like is it team, like if you're playing as a team and the whole team's wiped out, your character banished, but if you just die and your team makes it out, does
your character's gone.
Is gone.
Done.
Why is that?
Up to you. You die,
So if you die,
lose
you die.
everything.
Why?
How many teams are
It's just the high stakes of the game.
how many teams are in one match?
Anywhere from 2 to 4.
2 to
But sometimes it can be a 3-person team. Sometimes it can be a 1-person team because people will load up solo into a team match just for the extra challenge. So we haven't, it doesn't tell you how many are in there. You just know that there's other people.
So you can run across these people as you're looking for clues and you can just start killing them.
There's been games that we've played, like I've probably played, I don't know, 25 games with Scott and Austin at this point. And we've had games that we've gone the entire round and never saw anybody. And then we've had games where we've literally Friday when we were playing, we went through, I'd say 4 rounds back to back. Within the first 3 minutes, we were encountering a whole entire team, and it was just like battle ensuing right then and there.
So insane. Along with
who died?
Teams that you're fighting, right?
Everybody.
Are there other NPCs running around that you have to fight as well?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm just watching the gameplay right now.
Yeah, so as you're navigating through the world, it's a big open map. There's going to be there's different landmarks that you go to that will have the objective. So there's going to be just standard zombie kind of creatures or these weird mutated things that just are fucked up. And they'll just be standard ones lying around. So you can just go up there with this knife and just stab them in the head and kill them. Then there's these big, huge brute kind of guys that take a lot of damage, kind of like a tank character. There's some that are called emulators that are literally on fire. So they're fire-bodied creatures that run after you when they see you. So you can kill those guys. There's one that's kind of like a witch in a sense, but not really. But it's a beekeeper. So it's a lady that's got her head that's kind of cracked to the side. It's all fucked up and mutilated and stuff. And she's got bees all around her. So if you recognize her and encounter her, those bees will come after you. And if they sting you, they poison you and it slows you down and you're poisoned. You start losing health. So you have to knock her out in one shot, kind of like you would with the witch kind of situation.
Okay.
Left 4 Dead.
Are there different classes or just
not classes? It's all based on loadouts. So whenever you go into a game, you pick a hunter. So I mentioned earlier that basically you can't ever get committed to a hunter because they're if you die, you lose that hunter.
Yeah,
they're gone. Every time you finish a game, you can go recruit a new hunter. So they're very indispensable to pass through, and each hunter is going to have a preset loadout. Ooh. It may not be the loadout that you want, but it'll have a loadout something. Of stuff.
Okay, so once you jump into the game, you're not empty-handed like something like Correct. Fortnite or anything like that, or you have a loadout already.
Right.
It's like Darkest Dungeon. They do the same thing.
Really?
You go in, you have a party, you can't get attached to anybody, but you can recruit other party members of similar classes. And as you go into the Darkest Dungeon, you got to change out your party members because some of them have debuffs.
Yeah,
they have debuffs, so you have to send them to certain places within the town in order to get those debuffs off, and that takes time. So you have to recruit new members who are level 1, but some of your members might be a higher level. So you have to find that balance. You try to progress in the map, but you have to maybe come back because now you have a low level guy and you can't just send them into a high level area.
Right. Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's a similar mentality, which I was definitely very impressed with. I mean, like I said, it took a while for me to kind of grasp all the mechanics because you can have in your roster 4 to 5. I can't remember if it's 4 to 5 hunters, and each hunter, like I said, has a preset loadout. And then whenever you lose a hunter and you don't have your maximum amount, you can go to recruit a hunter. And when you go recruit a hunter, then there's an option to reshuffle. You can buy a hunter with your points, the money you get throughout the game, or you can choose to reshuffle, and there's always going to be a free hunter you can get from the reshuffle. So every time you lose a hunter, you can get a free one to add to your roster. Nice. But they're not going to be perfect hunter.
Yeah.
So as you play the game, you get points for killing the bounties and killing human players and getting certain debuffs and stuff, or different buffs throughout the game, or unlocking clues. All that stuff gives you points. It gives you money that you can use to buy weapons and ammo and tools to go into the next fight with. So say for example, like you have a loadout where you have a primary weapon and a secondary weapon, and then you have a series of tools and a series of consumables. So your weapons, if you have a large slot weapon like a rifle, and most of the game is like, this is set in 1895, so you don't have machine guns here. It's all like bolt action rifles and pistols and revolvers and shotguns and things that don't have a lot of ammo and require you to reload and add to that intensity, because you're like, I got one shot, and if I don't hit it, then I have to reload my gun and get ready for another shot as this freaking thing is coming after me kind of deal.
Yeah.
So it adds a lot to the intensity there. You select weapons. You can buy the weapons to add into your arsenal, and then you tie those weapons into loadout of each of your hunters. You also can then add, if you have a large weapon, then you can only slot in a small secondary. So you can have 2 medium weapons, or you can have a large and a small, but you can't have 2 larges. Then there's like tools that you can get that are, like grenades and, these little different mechanics that you can use to like fight off the bad guys. And there's consumables like your medic kit, your little antidote that you can like stab yourself with to give you like quick health, acid reduction, those kinds of things. Each of those gives you 4 slots. And then there is these traits. So as you level up your character, you unlock the ability to add traits, which can give you like, minimize bleeding, or there's actually one that you can find in the world that's a death trait thing that if you die, your character, or if you die in the game, your character dies, you don't lose your stuff.
Oh, nice.
So that is an ability, but it requires 3 points that I don't remember what the points are called, but they're points that are really hard to get. So it's not something you can get every single time, but if you do load that up and you do die in the game, your character's stuff doesn't go away, which is nice. But it's hard, like you can't always guarantee that. But there's a whole lot of really cool ways you can like modify your loadout. Like I have a build that I did that was like a sniper, which is great for long range, because a lot of this game is stalking people. Because like you're not going to just run and gun in there because you can't, because you got a rifle. So you got to like kind of slowly move your way around, and it's like, oh, I see somebody over in the distance. Let me see if I can pop a shot off. And you can usually, if you get 2 good shots on somebody, you can kill them in 2 shots and they're dead. And then you also have to be careful because sometimes they have traits that let them like revive themselves, which I found I've had an issue where it was like Scott and Austin were dead, and then I was like the last man standing, and we had almost killed Rotjaw, and I was like, holy shit, like it's up to me to do this. It's like, killed this guy, and then I went to go try and revive Scott, because you can't revive them for a certain amount of times.
That's cool.
And then this guy rose back up and then started shooting me again. I was like, oh shit. I turned around and killed him again.
Damn.
And he rose up a second time. And I was like, how the hell? So whatever trade he had was like letting him get back up.
Wow.
Finally, I did eventually kill him and loot his body and took his shit.
But he was like, God dang it.
Yeah. And then I got both of them back up, because like once you get the bounty from Rotjaw too, if your friends like die, you can you can res them back with a death. It's like a death token basically. You can bring them back in the game, which is nice.
That's cool.
Is there like a battle pass to this game or something to keep you wanting to like?
There's like not the battle pass like in the way of all the other games. There's like these event kind of weekly. You do have like weeklies and dailies and stuff like that unlock your event that gives you like more or less kind of like a what do you call it, loot box kind of deal. But then like I said, you're also getting money, or you can buy stuff to like buy new skins. But the biggest thing is like the progression as you level up your main character, because you level up your hunter, but then you also have a character leveler that's just like for you. And that leveler will unlock new weapons and guns as you progress through the game. So like, for example, I don't have any crossbows right now, but once I get to like level 15 or whatever, then I unlock crossbows and I can start adding that to my arsenal and buying them from the store, and then you can equip them to your character. But I when I first started playing this, I was like, okay, this is really hard and I don't get it, and it's overwhelming. And then as I got into it, like there's a hook here that's really, really addicting, that just like the hunt, and then you find it, you take down. So like here's this, we're watching a video of the spider. Spider creeps me out, man.
Creepy as shit, man.
And it's got a face on it too. Like when you kill it, you see this little face on it. But it's so fast. But it's nice because like it doesn't leave the building that it's in.
Yeah.
So like you can kind of use that to your advantage. But there was a point where I was like, I hadn't faced a spider yet. I didn't know what it looked like. So I walk in the room and I was recording myself. So I got a video of this, I think. But I walked in the room and like Scott was on the other side and he was like, "Oh, it's coming." And then I look and this thing's freaking like crawling towards like massive tarantula crawling. I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like freaking out. Like literally, I like verbally screamed in the mic and like ran out the door. I was like, "Oh my god!" It's like tingling all over me. Like I was so freaking scared. It was so good. And then like when you fight the Rotjaw, this thing like whenever it attacks and like bites you, it releases this electricity around it. So you can't go to that area for a little bit, but you have to go in the water to lure him out. So it's this whole push and pull. Like they're really interesting like boss fights. And then once you collect the bounty, I mean like the adrenaline of like not knowing if there's another team left in the game once you collect the bounty and trying to escape. And it's just, there's a lot of interesting moments here that like makes it, I mean, it's way more exciting to me than like playing like a battle royale, like PUBG kind of vibe. Like it's just, they did such a good job with like the moment to moment gameplay and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
How many bosses have you? How many bosses are in this game? Like
like 4 right now.
4.
But apparently every season they change them out. Oh. So you get new maps and new bosses to encounter every season.
Oh, I see the face on the spider. Ugh.
Yeah. So there's a butcher. There's this the butcher's intense. I don't like that guy because he'll chase you anywhere. There's the big spider. I don't know what the assassin is. I don't think I faced the assassin yet.
Assassin.
And then there's the Rotjaw and yeah.
Sure, there's more, but
yeah,
that's all they have right now.
But
how long is the season?
Probably like 3 months. I don't know exactly, but yeah. I mean, I wish there wasn't like the microtransaction piece to it. There are some really badass skins you can get, but I don't really want to like pay for skins, you know. So
especially first person shooter.
Yeah.
Kind of stupid.
Exactly. Yeah. They do show you when you're loaded up in the game. They show your character. So I mean, there's that benefit of like when you're in the lobby with your friends, like you can see it. But
this guy has 946 hours on record.
Good lord.
He gave it a don't recommend. We don't want to play broken night maps. Reshade users are getting too much advantage. If you don't prohibit reshade, then you shouldn't push your players to play it.
I don't know what that means.
Reshade's it's an add-on. It's basically a mod.
Oh, really?
But reshade usually you help like you can make games look realistic with it. So it's kind of like a I don't know what do you call it.
Yeah,
a shade.
It's like a new texture.
There you go. Yeah, look at that. It's like a lens you can put over to make things look certain ways, and so I guess they use reshade to help see at night better.
This is a game that definitely like. I mean, you see like the hours on a lot of these people. Like this is a game that people are like addicted to. Like there's some hardcore play. Like it has this game being 2019. When I was playing the other night, had 25,000 users playing it at that time. Like it still has a very active community of people playing it, which I was very impressed by.
Oh, well, cool.
Yeah.
I'm not spending $40 on it though.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, I don't know if
I don't think it's worth $40.
Oh, I don't know, man.
I got
That's
other games to play. It's about to be October here soon.
It's true. It's true. This game's going to be forgotten about, sadly.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to buy this game and
never going to play
Never going to play it.
Oh, we'll see, man.
It's very possible.
Fun.
It's very possible.
It's really fun. There's no story to it, so it doesn't like end, you know?
That's true.
Because I bought Ready or Not, and we still haven't played that one yet.
Well, I didn't tell you to buy that game.
Yeah, I know.
That was Travis.
But still.
Every game I told you to buy, I keep playing.
I told you we should play 6 Days in Fallujah.
What the hell?
Yeah. I'll still play Dead Island 2, but this guy don't want to play with me anymore.
Look at this. I just want to play Remnant 2.
I know.
Me too.
That's it.
He does too.
Yeah, you see?
Yeah.
Come on.
I love Remnant 2.
Then screw this game.
Well, no. This isn't to convince
that the moral
you.
of your story, Brett?
This isn't to convince Jason to play. This is just to say, hey, I found a really good multiplayer game that's very different.
Multiplayer game, and I'm proud of them.
Well, I didn't find this actually. Scott and Austin talked me into it because I've known it's existed.
I played the beta. Me and Travis played the beta.
I saw it.
Well,
and we're like, you should get this. And then
y'all never convinced me to play it.
Travis is like, I don't want to play this, so we kind of fell off of it. Yeah, I don't want to play it by myself.
Yeah, for sure.
And it looks like that it's been like updated and fixed, and it's probably a lot better than it used to be.
Yeah, it runs pretty good. There's definitely one thing I wish they would do differently is I wish they would. I wish they had a field of view changer because it's very close to the character and stuff like that. but I think it's probably part of the design. It's very claustrophobic feeling. But I wish I could like pull the camera back a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the graphics do look a little dated now, just with it being a little older, but it still plays great. I mean, it plays good. I'm getting like 80 frames per second, doing the thing, and it's pretty fun. So, if y'all are looking for a new PvP experience that's unlike anything else out there, this is the game for you. You want to try it. It's very hard. You're gonna die a lot. Like literally, don't care about your character because they're gonna die, but it's fun and it's enjoyable. So shout out to Scott and Austin for pulling me into it because I actually really enjoy it.
You're welcome. I'm not gonna help you again.
Yeah, not this Austin. OG Austin. The other Austin.
That guy.
That guy. He listens to the podcast. Like he knows who he is. But yeah, that's Hunt Showdown, everybody. Crytek, available $40 on the internet.
Crytek.